In the frame of the Omnibus project and Erasmus project, we are continuing our podcasts with professionals that will give us an insight on their job and their profession, how they did get there, and how they are progressing in order for students that can hear these podcasts to have a more clear idea of this profession. We have another expert on a specific profession that we would like to invite to this podcast. And we would like to hear more from you. We would like to introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing. And we would like to hear more from you now.
My name is Antonia Kouya, and I have been working as a journalist since 2017 in the Free Press newspaper called I Πόλη Ζει, which means the city lives or the city is alive. This newspaper focuses on the city of Athens. It's not aimed at tourists, but at people who live and work in Athens, highlighting social, cultural, political, historical issues, and everything that might be of interest to a resident who loves his city. Although I graduated from the National and Kapodistrian University of Athens in 2013, those 4 years I was involved in the field of advertising and communication. Critical moments in my career have not been many, as I mainly deal with cultural, social, and historical issues, which means I search and inform the public. Here the challenge is more to do with the most meaningful and neutral presentation of the issues and reports. I have a recent example to tell you. I undertook a report on the material signs of the German occupation that still exist in Athens of 2022, such as bullet marks, buildings, monuments, etc. It was a big challenge to cross-reference information and the fact that I had to report on the field. But there are times when personal opinions should be expressed, especially when talking about current affairs. Another relatively recent example is an opinion, an article I published on the topic of repealing the constitutional right to abortion in America. Last summer this issue was raised. In my article I came out strongly in favor of the right to abortion, but I received severe criticism on social media from a more conservative side of society. It was quite difficult to cope with. I didn't change my mind, nor did I try to change anyone's mind, but the criticism was quite harsh. And this happens very often in journalism, and that means you have to be you have to tolerate criticism when you do this job.
Thank you. It is great that we are having these first details of what you're doing. They are really important and interesting. And I can understand the challenge behind your profession. Can you please now give us your thoughts about the most useful skills for your career development and your profession in general?
From my experience, the most useful skills are communication skills. It's very vital if we consider that the very definition of journalism includes informing the public and communicating current affairs. We understand how central this is. Therefore, you should not only have public communication skills, but also at an interpersonal level, as you should get info from sources, get interviews, etc. Plus, the research skills are very important. You need to capture all details and use different sources to get info. In addition, you must have the ability to know how to evaluate all your data and research before presenting it to the public. Plus, objectivity. It's very, very important. You must be objective and argumentative before presenting any topic. Keep in mind that different kinds of people access this news. Be sure to present and write content that is respectful and unbiased, especially when we talk about reports. It's very central, the credibility. The profession of journalist carries a great responsibility as well as informing the citizen and forming opinions. So our reliability is a hallmark of our work. Not only will it bring more readership, listeners, viewers, but we will be respected socially and among colleagues. Plus, it's very important to work well under pressure and have discipline. This skill applies if you work in a newsroom because it's your job to get those time-sensitive stories researched, written, and checked before it must go live to the public. Plus, even if you're not working in a newsroom, you will always have deadlines on your back, especially if you're working in a daily newspaper, for example. A very important skill is social awareness. The profession of a journalist is considered a function from the point of view that the journalist performs social work, works for the benefit of society as a whole, and contributes to its smooth functioning. This happens not only because information leads to better functioning of the state, since citizens have the right to information. It is important to realize that the journalist has the power to influence a wide audience. For this reason, being aware of issues that will evolve society for the better is wise. Therefore, you should deal with the environment, social issues, political issues, diversity issues, portray excluded social groups, etc. Plus, very important these days, of course, it's digital literacy. Currently, digital literacy is a must-have skill for most careers. As a journalist, you must know how to use things like websites, apps, social media, laptops, tablets, since they are the new broadcast mediums. To have a rewarding career, you must be willing to adapt and accept change, such as the use of digital platforms. This is because using digital media to broadcast news is one of the best ways to reach a large group of people.
Now, is it possible for you to guide us through the activities that you do in your job? It is really important for us to hear from you of how you're dealing with your profession and your job.
In the kind of newspaper I work for, the most important activity is the meetings with the editor-in-chief and the editors, as every day we discuss the issues for the website, while we also have to decide on the issues for our print version that comes out once a month. Once the responsibilities are shared, the process is as follows, and I will describe it as comprehensively as possible. The research on the topic we have undertaken begins, the cross-checking of information, the communication with our sources, and we proceed to the writing and presentation of the topic. These are the most important activities, but one topic or report may take you a day, while others may take a week or more, depending on the topic and the extent it will receive in the form.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us your point of view, giving us more about the profession that you have chosen. We would like to thank other students that will use these podcasts, and we hope that you enjoy them and you have more info about some of the professions that we have chosen to present you. Thank you.